Bro, where have you been, man?
Bro, you won't believe it. Before I get off the car, I see these big dogs inside the house of the owner. And you know, Pakistanis and dogs, you know, we're not used to them that much. Most Pakistanis are not used to dogs and stuff. And you grow up not with dogs and stuff. And you know, I just hope they don't come to me. And then they're like, come so close to you. But Andreas is there and I'm just trying to distract these dogs. Just get in the house. It's always amazing to see them, right? Because you see some of these new Muslims, but you don't know who's Muslim and who's not, right? And it was an amazing moment. You know, we all did wudu in the river. And bro, you know when it's hot and humid and rainforest, and then there's a river there and you're doing wudu with the new Muslims.
Isn't that a bit risky?
No, yeah, if anaconda.
Like, no, not even that. Parasites.
And it's really quite disgusting. They are engorged with blood.
Yeah.
Seriously, I would not be putting that in my mouth.
I should look into that, but it was fine. I'm glad we survived. So we had that. Then
Sure?
But you know, when we were driving back, there was something really interesting, amazing, right? Andreas said there's a natural geyser. Geyser, I don't know what to call it.
Geyser.
Yeah, geyser, yeah. But you know the natural geyser.
Spring water, yeah.
So, and we saw it on the way there, and Andreas was like, I want to stop, I want to take a picture of this. It's very unique. And I was like, bro, are you sure this is a geyser? Because I was like, how funny would it be if you go there and it's like a pipe with water?
And the donors are definitely keeping an eye on us, making sure we're doing it. That's where that fish came in handy with his eye. Like,
yeah, that fish. Yeah, that's an amazing story, right? Like we went hunting for him at night when it was all lights gone in the mountains.
Not literally,
shouting. No. Once he took Shahada, hatred started towards him. They didn't like him. They burnt his house down.
Sin autorización me habían ingresado en mi lugar, en mi casa, lo habían quemado el Corán.
Bro, for the first time ever on an Aradao mission, I basically was going to tell Andreas that, you know what, bro, I don't think I can come for the mission today or the dawah. I'm just too exhausted and too tired. Because the way that the mission happened is that we started from Peru, right? This is now, we have to go to Ecuador, and this is how the journey starts, right? From Peru, in where you were in Cusco, we were there together, right? And you got altitude sickness, you can't breathe properly. You know, everyone thinks that it won't affect you. When you get there, you're like, what is this? I can't breathe. I got headache. I got pain in the back of my neck constantly. So we fly from Cusco, we fly to Lima. Then we have to wait in Lima airport. Then from Lima airport, we have to fly to Colombia, another country. Then we have to get out there and stay the night, right? And we get this hotel, and Andreas was like, this is the worst hotel I've ever stayed in. There was no toilet in the room. There was just a communal toilet. And when you went in that toilet, bro, it just smelled of like pee. So strong. So we had a night, and I remember I got a drink because in these places, right, you're hungry, you've done all this traveling, you want to have dinner, but because the halal options are very minimal and shops are closed and we don't have change, we had to buy it like from the counter of this little hotel. It's not even a hotel, it was like a motel, like these, because we don't like waste money or anything when you're doing like one night, right?
Yeah.
But this was really bad. So I bought these little snacks, like crisps and a drink. And I was like, Andreas, bro, are you sure this hasn't got alcohol? And he asked the guy, and he was like, no, it hasn't. It was called Cola Pola or something. It was actually called Cola Pola, I think, yeah. And I opened it, bro. I just had this feeling, right? I go on my gut feeling a lot. And I smell it, and I was like, what is this? Then I Googled the name of the company and their products, and they said it's Shandy.
Oh, Shandy.
Which is like, it has 2%. Yeah. But it has very, very minimal alcohol inside it. And I was like, there goes my drink. But alhamdulillah, I had water. So I said, you know what? We just get through this night, inshallah. And like, my bed had long hairs on it. Really long black hairs. And I was like,
you know, it's interesting, isn't it? Because people think that, you know, oh, they're talking about the hotels again, right? But the hotel is like, it's like an integral part of the trip in terms of like the experiences, because everyone loves hotels, right? You know, when I say everyone loves hotel, when you go on a holiday, you book a really nice hotel, right? And
it's a part of the trip.
It's a part of your experience.
Yeah.
But then there's a sort of flip side to that. It's like, it's something that is memorable to like the most extreme when it comes to what we've been through, basically.
Yeah, and it's like crazy hotels because but when you're in the Dawah, we don't have budgets for 5-star hotels or these expensive hotels or anything at all, right? You have to be really careful, and they'll reject stuff. They'll say, no, you can't go here, right? So anyways, we stayed in this one, but this one Andres was like, okay, we've gone below like what our standard is and what we're allowed to have, right? I said, Qadar, this is one night. It's like nothing. So, these nights you just sleep for a few hours and you're like, look, we're going to get up. And sometimes you look forward to going to the airport because like you'll finally be in a place where you can get water, you can relax a bit, it's clean. So anyways, this airport it was like right next to this hotel was right next to some other part of the airport where there's like planes like testing the engines all night. And bro, and there's like cars outside, you can't even sleep properly. And then my door doesn't even lock. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in Colombia, yeah. I don't know much about the country, and I'm not making any claims or anything, right? In case someone starts commenting, oh, what do you say about my country? Yeah. But I was like, anyone can just walk into my room, right, and like do anything. So I said, in these moments, you have to have tawakkul because it's like night, the guy goes away, you don't know what to do. So, anyways, we go through the night. We woke up. Andres me went down. The guy took us to the taxi. Took us in the taxi back to the. This is still the Colombia Ecuador trip. We haven't even got to Ecuador, but this is part of the trip. So we had to fly an internal flight in Peru, then fly to Colombia, then spend the whole night there, then get up at 4 a.m. by the way. So we got to the hotel at 12 and we had to wake up at 4 and leave again because the flight is at 6 a.m. And then we go there again. Then we fly from there to Ecuador. Now we get to Ecuador. Now we have about 5 hours to just wait before the bus goes. And this is like these things sound trivial, but they are very tiring when you have to wait 5 hours doing nothing, right? No hotel, no nothing. You just have to either sit on a bench or find a place to sit. So we went to a shopping mall and we just ate like some food and stuff, whatever it was there. There was a restaurant we saw, and after we ordered the food, I told Andres, I was like, bro, I don't think we made the right choice. This place does not look right, man. Really? But the food was delicious. It was like beans and fish and rice. It was like Ecuadorian style. So it was just so simple, right? But it was so nice. So we had that. We waited for ages and ages and ages, and then we then get to our coach. This coach is a 10-hour coach. They say 6 hours, but it's 10 hours, right? Because they'll stop like every 20 minutes. Yeah, and you're going through the mountains and stuff, and it's quite scary as well. And you can see you're getting out of breath as well, like because you're going high up and down. But what I did is I took sleeping tablets, right? And I went to the pharmacy. In these countries, it's quite easy. I took the ones that are like the ones that they prescribe, right? I said, just for today, I just need the tablet. So I got like a proper one. So I took the tablet.
How long did that take?
I just took it like 15 minutes before boarding the bus, and me and Andres, I clearly remember we prayed Dhuhr and Asr, and when I went into sujood,
for you to have to take sleeping tablets, the person who can sleep out in the rough in the
Peruvian
Amazon
rainforest
on that hard floor, then I know it must have been tough.
Yes. Well, it's becoming more difficult for me. As I get older, it's becoming more difficult for me to sleep really quickly. But I get motion sickness as well, so I took both the pills. And Jamal, this pill I took, right, it is such a strange pill. For like 10 hours after you take the tablet, you're going to have like this bitter taste in your tongue. Really? I kept having like sweets and biscuits. I was like, it's not going away. I had to deal with it. But I go on the bus. After about 25 minutes, bro, I'm gone. Andreas says that the bus guy came for the ticket. Yeah. He said to everyone, he looked at me, he took mine, and he looked at you. And he said, take it. And then looked at me to wake you up. He said, I will wake you up. He said, you did not even move. And he said the guy saw it and he just left. He just went. So I have no memory of this. And this is 2 p.m. in daytime, by the way, yeah? 2:30 p.m. the bus starts. So anyways, we go on the train. And then I wake up after like 5-6 hours. Wake up like, you don't know where you are and you go back to sleep again, right? That's what happened to me. And alhamdulillah, the last time I woke up, there's nobody on the bus. And Andres was like, let's go, come on, we're here. So we got there 2 a.m. at night, right? Then we have to wait for the brother Basil to pick us up, right? Basim, amazing brother, mashallah. This guy's story is incredible. He's from Yemen, right? Wow. But he lives in Ecuador. His wife is Ecuadorian, mashallah, and he speaks full Spanish and stuff. And he's an amazing da'i, mashallah, right? We have to do his story one day as well. So then he comes and picks us up with another brother who's like, you can tell he's like an Ecuadorian brother who knows everything. You know, the jack of all trades. Like he'll know this, that, and everything. I was like, what is this brother's story? And they said this brother he saw the brothers giving dawah in the city center in Ecuador, in Guayaquil, and he took shahada, became Muslim. Now he's in the dawah. It's like, look how Allah just brings people.
Yeah, we've seen so many examples
chooses
of this.
them.
Yeah.
And he's like our Ecuadorian guy, born and bred there. And we go, and there's no hotels in this place, and this is near the Ecuadorian Amazon rainforest. There's no houses, so we have to rent a house. And then we go there. As soon as we get in, bro, before I get off the car, I see these big dogs inside the house of the owner. And Pakistanis and dogs, we're not used to them that much. Most Pakistanis are not used to dogs and stuff. And you grow up not with dogs and stuff. And I just hope they don't come to me. And then they're like, come so close to you. But Andreas is there, and I'm just trying to distract these dogs. Just get in the house. So I get in the house. It's just a normal house, and we stay there because the next day we're going to go to the Amazon rainforest. So anyways, we sleep, and I'm like, let's get some rest. I was like, can we wake up at 9 a.m.? Because normally on the mission, it starts really early, 6 a.m., like Fajr sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes when the sun comes out, I said, look, guys, we need rest because we're exhausted. I'm exhausted as well. So I slept as well. This house had Wi-Fi, though. We had no connection to the SIM there. It was really strange. But this house had Wi-Fi. And bro, the Wi-Fi was incredible. Like, you could play a YouTube video and it'll just play instantly. But the only catch is, every 5 minutes or so, it just goes. It's just completely gone.
Oh, wow.
Completely cut out, right? And anyway, so we woke up the next day. The brothers made like egg and toast for us and stuff like that. And then we start going to the Amazon rainforest, and we get in the car, and it's an hour and a half drive. And when we get close, it's at a point where you see all these construction cars, and that's how far they've got to making the road.
Oh,
so
wow.
now the road stops. So you're going on gravel, basically. Yeah, literally, just path, right? And you're going, and you go into the Amazon rainforest. And we meet the brothers and stuff. Then it's always amazing to see them, right? Because you see some of these new Muslims, but you don't know who's Muslim and who's not, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes not all of them are wearing topis or beards and stuff like that. And there's young brothers and sisters as well. So anyways, we went with them, and they took us around, and they showed us, and they told us the stories, and they said that, look, the brothers are already cutting the wood for the masjid, right? So the way that we did is that we gifted them an electric chainsaw. They're quite pricey. They're like more than like £500, I think.
So it's quite similar to Peru then, where they make the masjid from the
yes, but
incredible.
like our gift was that we don't have to pay for the masjid, basically, right? We just give them the chainsaw. They build the masjid themselves, which is amazing, right? We don't have to pay for construction, transport, anything. But that's something that benefits the community.
It's so incredible watching them use that chainsaw. The way they're building the masjid it is incredible.
Yeah,
these are artists.
Yeah,
subhanallah.
Honestly. Yeah. And Jamal, it was even more incredible here because I saw something that was phenomenal. And I'll tell you, you won't even believe it when I tell you. So they're like, we'll go 2 teams, okay? One team of brothers we're now in the Amazon rainforest, right? Before we start, they have like a few gifts for us, simple gifts. They're like, look, we got some fruits and stuff, right? So you cut it open, and then you have it, and it's like you open it, and it's white inside with like, like it's all like 4 balls, like big seeds. And you eat it, and it's like, tastes like mango, but it's sticky, and it's white. It was so weird. I had never tried these fruits before. Then they give us these long things that the kids are breaking from the trees, and you open it, and it's got these little white seeds in them, and you suck on them, and it's like some amazing fruits I've never heard of in the Amazon rainforest, right? And then all these birds start flying on top of us, right? And they're like, the birds do that when it's about to rain because they feel the rain first before it hits the ground, right? And I was like, oh, wow, that's incredible, right? So they know all these things because they live there. So but when we go in and we see where they're cutting the wood, all these brothers are cutting the wood. There's wood everywhere. They cut the tree. It's all sustainable, right? Because they have so much tree. They use the wood. They won't build like, cement and all of that and pollute. They'll use wood and they'll build their structures. So they're building it, and they said the other team is another place getting a different kind of wood because this is one kind of wood that we need for the structure for the masjid. This is another one. So I was like, okay, how does that work? They said, oh, the other team, they are 2 hours away. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, they're cutting the wood there, and then they'll basically tie them in a rope, and they'll throw it in the river, and then it's going to float all the way down here in the river.
Wow.
I said, are you being serious? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that's incredible. And all this to build a masjid, right? How phenomenal is that?
Is the design close to what we saw before?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, it's bigger though and stuff. So they made and again we had the same experience where I was like, okay, time to find the Qibla.
Yes.
Okay, the brothers kind of knew, but for us, we were checking it. That's an amazing moment when you see it and you're like, okay, this is the direction of the masjid. But as I was filming it. Suddenly, Jamal, this big butterfly, the size of a bird, literally this big, a butterfly, black. Maybe someone can comment the name of this butterfly. It was black and it had 2 blue neon circles on its wings. Just black wings and just 2. I've even got a video of it, right?
Yeah.
You can't see it clearly, but you'll see it, and it's just flying. I was like, whoa, what's that? It was so big, right?
So you didn't run?
No, I didn't run. I ran after what I had next.
Oh.
Okay? But I mean, I wanted to run.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to run.
Yeah.
So the brother said to me, I said, what kind of animals are in this rainforest? And he said, okay, there's many. He said, there's scorpions, right? He said, there's spiders, deadly spiders. They'll bite you, yeah? And then there's snakes. But he said, we have different kind of snakes. There's anacondas. They're in the water, boas. But there's other snakes we have here. He said, they're in the trees, basically.
Wow.
And bro, I look all around me. I'm just surrounded by trees. And any time I'm like, the snake's going to just fall on my head, right? And I was trying to see branches and hallucinating, thinking they're snakes, right? One of them, bro, it really did look like a snake, but it wasn't. But he was like, yeah, they're in the trees, so you have to
We
be
never
really...
managed to actually see something.
yeah,
Like,
we
we're
did-
so close to it.
Yeah.
It's always there, but we just don't see it.
But
you know?
the people had seen them, the ones
Yeah.
we asked. They were like,
Yeah.
10 days
They
ago,
were used
2
to
weeks
it,
ago.
isn't it?
Yeah, so they had similar, and then he said there's panthers here and jaguars or something. I don't know. Don't quote me, guys. Someone's gonna comment saying, "Oh, it doesn't exist in that part of the world." But that's what he said. I think he said panthers or jaguars or something like this. It's a big cat that's there, right? And he said, yeah, you have to be really careful. They have wild pigs as well. They said those are dangerous. They'll bite you. They've got big teeth and stuff like that. And they said they have monkeys the size of kids. Huge monkeys, right? And they said they'll take things from you. And he said, yeah, you have to be really careful here. So I was like, Andres, when are we heading back to the car? No. Anyways, alhamdulillah, then the brother took us back. And it was an amazing moment. We all did wudu in the river. And bro, it's, when it's hot and humid in rainforest, and then there's a river there and you're doing wudu with the new Muslims.
Isn't that a bit risky?
No, if anaconda.
No, not even that. Parasites.
And it's really quite disgusting. They are engorged with blood, which they are then leaking all over you.
Yeah.
Seriously, I would
don't
not
know.
be putting that in my mouth.
I
and
should
the
look into.
parasites.
I should look into that, but it was fine. We
Yeah.
survived. So we had that. Then
Are you sure?
Silvio, felt the need to urinate, as happens. While he was relieving himself, suddenly he said, he just had a bit of a shock, and the first thing he knew was that the fish was already, inside. Only, just the end of its tail was out.
I hope so. If I don't come with diaries anymore, you know what happened. So, so I was asking Andres. I said, okay, tell me the story of this brother and these people in the Amazon rainforest who've taken shahada. I said, when did they take shahada? Last month, 2020. He said, no, they've been Muslims for 5 years. I said, what? He's like, yeah, this is a big community here of new Muslims in the Ecuadorian rainforest who are new Muslims. And I said, okay, how did this start? He said a French guy came here to stay with them, okay, just to live with them in the Amazon rainforest. Then that brother, he married his sister, the brother who's talking to us, who's the Muslim, who's the leader there, who's like our organizer, right?
Yeah.
And he said, so this French guy marries my sister. Then this guy, before or after, but he takes a shahada. My sister takes her shahada. And look, subhanAllah, the fitrah, because when you recognize the truth, the sister instantly tells her brother, listen, I found the truth. Look at this, we believe in. He took shahada. Yeah, and this brother is he's an Ecuadorian force. Now you have to consider something, right? Knowledge does not the way we have knowledge and we have resources and imams and stuff. In other parts of the world, they don't have it like that, right? They don't have Islamic centers or masjids or imams or access to them at all.
Yeah.
But this brother, from the things that he was saying, like he would say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, like he would say Alhamdulillah, I was like, wow. In the rainforest, he's there. You might look at him, you might not even think he's Muslim, right? In the first, but look, he has all those manners and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he took shahada. Once he took shahada, hatred started towards him. They didn't like him. They burnt his house down.
Personas sin autorización me habían ingresado en mi lugar, en mi casa, lo habían quemado el Corán. Estamos muy agradecidos por el apoyo que nos hacen, que lo vamos a hacer, inshallah, aquí, y más tarde llegarán muchos.
Yeah, they did stuff like that. His son passed away because of an illness, infection in his leg, and they said, you killed your son. They started accusing him. But I was like, look, this is Allah tests people, right? Yeah. When they take their shahada. And he just persevered, and then their attitude changed completely. Now more people accepted Islam, more people took shahada, now they like him.
That's
and
amazing.
This this masjid, I say masjid, but IRA doesn't really build masajid. It is actually an Islamic center. It's actually a dawah center. So this is a place where other people in this community who are interested in Islam can come, sit down, learn, read books, read the Quran in Spanish,
really nice.
get translations, but they can also pray their salah there. It's like a musalla / masjid. And that was the story basically. And this brother, and so we built the masjid with them and we did support with them. And Basim, he was going to stay there for 2 weeks because now obviously we have such amazing structure in IRA, is that when a shahada comes and there's no new Muslim support, the team will be like, okay, remove these shahadas because we're not going to count them because what kind of support have you given them? Have you taught them the Fatiha and stuff? So that brother stayed there for 2 weeks, and then the next day I couldn't go. Not because I was tired, but because there was a board meeting and I was like, bro, I'm in the Amazon rainforest, how can I do a board meeting? But these things are important, alhamdulillah. I had to give my reports and plans and everything. So I had a board meeting with Sheikh Green and the
How
others.
did you get the Wi-Fi for that?
The Wi-Fi was there, and alhamdulillah, I made dua and it didn't cut out while I was talking to them, right? It just went through. And
So
alhamdulillah,
you had a board meeting.
I had a board meeting.
Right
I was
in
in
the middle.
rainforest,
That's
but
amazing.
I was in the house that we rented basically.
Oh,
Andreas and Mello and all of them had gone.
Right. Okay.
And Mello's story is even crazy. So you think our trip was bad? Check his trip out, yeah? First, obviously, he comes from London to travel to Heathrow Airport. It takes like 2 hours in the car because there's so much traffic. So he does that 2-hour trip. Then he comes to the airport. Then he flies 2 hours to Madrid. Then he has a 4-hour stop there. Then he flies from Madrid 12 hours or 10 to 12 hours to Peru. Then he stops in Peru. Then from Peru, he flies to Ecuador. Then Ecuador, so all non-stop. And then from Ecuador, he gets on the 10-hour coach, which is like more for him. It was like 12 hours or something. And when he comes, I'm like, bro, don't hit me, don't hurt me, please, I'm sorry.
We need Mello on this Dawah. We need to hear it from
we need him,
him.
mashallah. So he, subhanAllah, may Allah reward him, he sacrificed a lot. Like that was a tough, and I could see the tired and exhaustion in him. But mashallah, like he got down, as soon as he struck me, he was like smiling and stuff, mashallah.
Wow.
He perseveres, mashallah, and it was amazing. And we got there, and we got the job done. We did the filming, we did the dawah, we got the masjid, we got the and bro, the trees. Okay, this is different, right? We saw them cut down an actual tree in the Amazon rainforest, right? And it's a huge tree, and the guy's cutting it like this, cutting it. He makes like, so if this is the tree, a big block, they'll make like a wedge here, right? And then they'll cut it from the back so that it'll fall this way, right? But they're like, everyone move back. Because you just never really know. And once he cut it, bro, it was the most magnificent thing seeing this tree fall. Because Jamal, it's so huge. When it falls, it breaks so many little trees and plants and branches. Yeah. And it's so loud. It's like you can hear echoes in the rainforest.
Did someone shout out?
Yeah, I know. But it fell. And they were like, we're going to make 40 pillars with this one tree. I was like, wow, like, mashallah, that is sustainable development, right? Yeah. So then they cut it and they were building the masjid and stuff like that. And so I couldn't go the second day just because I had to do something really important. But alhamdulillah, Andreas, Mello, they could do it. And they prayed Jummah there. They did wudu in the river. I think they gave a khutbah. And then Basim basically stayed for 2 weeks with them. Either he stayed or he was going to go back after a while. To just do the new Muslim classes, and we couldn't go to them because of coronavirus and the pandemic and stuff. So they were waiting for us for such a long time. So this trip opened up, and then it was when we went, and bro, Peru, and we've done Peru together, right? Bro, was even more crazy and difficult. And you think you get used to the altitude this time, but that story was crazy. But
what was that like then? How was it different? Because you said you maybe went higher.
Okay, so let's put it this way, yeah. When we went Peru. In Cusco, the altitude, so just to explain it for the viewers, it's called meters above sea level, right? So if sea level, where the sea is 0, then as you walk up, you'll have, so like this is like a meter, right? So as you walk up like a hill or something, it'll be 1 meter, 2 meters. So sometimes you're driving up and up into mountains and stuff, and you get to like 1,000 meters. Even 1,000 meters is okay, right? When you get to 2,500, like in Cusco, the air is really less because the air now, as it goes up, it becomes thinner, right?
Yeah.
Just like when you go to space, you can't breathe anymore because it's just gone. There's no air there anymore. So in Cusco, it was 2,500. When we went to La Paz, it was close to 4,000. It was, I think, 3,800, yeah? When we went this time, it was 5,000.
5,000 meters.
5,000 meters, yeah. It was crazy. It was very difficult. But also the nature of the mission was very hectic. And I even forgot to tell you, Mello got COVID. Before the mission, he got COVID. He was positive before this mission because you have to do a PCR test 72 hours before. Okay, so not everyone does a 72. Even us, you can do 48, right? Like a day or two before the trip. So we did it. He did it as well. He was positive. And I'm like, subhanAllah, oh my God, this is crazy. So we had to wait for him to then come. So I had to do Peru myself and stuff. I had to film it on the iPhone and stuff. It was really good. iPhone is really advanced now, mashallah. But
that's
so
the second time catching it then, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to. We had no choice. But then he joined us. And he joined us in this Ecuador mission. But Peru was crazy. I'll tell you guys. And even the stories of Mario and the llamas there. It was just so iconic, inshallah. But this was for the Ecuador. It was amazing. So next Dawah Diaries, inshallah, we might go back to second Mexico mission, or we might go back to Peru from this trip.
Yeah,
inshallah.
definitely sounds amazing. I mean, again, before we finish, like obviously the hotels that we mentioned before. I mean, again, just so people can understand, even when we did Africa trips in the past, there was no water. Sometimes we had buckets and things like this. But you mentioned you didn't actually mention in the rainforest. Did you? So you didn't stay. You stayed in the house.
No. We didn't stay. We could have. Before I forget, I forgot to mention the food that we had there. Is that what they gave to us for food was that, it was like wrapped up in like a coconut leaf or something, and when you opened it, it like had like a goldfish inside it, grilled with the eye and everything. No, not a goldfish like that. No, it was gold. The fish was gold.
It wasn't a goldfish.
It's called tilapia.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's very famous, but it looks golden, right? And it was that fried with the potato. What was that famous? Cassava.
Yes.
Cassava was in there, and the fish was in there. All
delicious.
of it, they wrapped it and they just steamed it basically.
Ooh.
And so we ate it, and it was really nice. I mean, the eye of the fish put me off a bit because it was like still there, and it was like white.
Watching you,
but
you better like me, mate. You better be enjoying me.
Yeah, subhanAllah, the fish sacrifice. But that was nice. We had that. But in terms of in the rainforest here this time, no, we didn't stay because we had the ability to drive back.
Right.
Even though it was an hour and a half. But the difference was, see, when we went to that one, we had to go in a boat.
Yes.
You couldn't really go back again in a boat and stay in your hotel and come back again. But when we were driving back, there was something really interesting, amazing, right? Andrea said there's a natural geyser. Geyser, I don't know what to call it.
Geyser.
Yeah, geyser, yeah. But the natural geyser.
Spring water, yeah.
So, and we saw it on the way, then we go, and Andrea was like, I want to stop, I want to take a picture of this. It's very unique. And I was like, bro, are you sure this is a geyser? Because I was like, how funny would it be if you go there and it's like a pipe with water? Because what this was, apparently it's like there's a waterfall and water source here, but the water goes upwards because there's like a drop or something, yeah? That's why the water just constantly spraying up from this geyser or something, right? Anyways, we go there and we got down, we stopped on the side of the road, it's like I'm on a motorway, and there was a waterfall there and stuff. It was there, the water source was there.
Someone walked past goes, ain't you ever seen a burst water main before, mate?
Bro, we went there, it was a pipe.
It was a pipe.
It was someone's pipe. I was like, that's probably someone's toilet water coming out.
Oh no, we need to get
and it was too funny. Me and Andres, we were just laughing. I have a lot of the clips, we can put it in the Dawah Diaries, but it was hilarious. But it was a tough mission, it takes a toll on you. And I just considered this mission saying that, what, bro, I can't come, I'm too exhausted. But they said, Allah, give me the strength. Let me do it. And then you start thinking.
What did keep you going? What was it that kept you?
I'll tell you what I discussed this with Sheikh Green as well. He told me to watch this film, some 50-year-old film from the 70s, right? About how they dragged a boat or a ship through the Amazon rainforest or something.
Wow.
And even the film crew wanted to give up on the film because even filming a film of something that was a story was so difficult. So what kept me going is that I thought that, the Sahaba, right? I'm not saying this, I'm really weak. Like, I have many tests and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I'm something special or I went through or I became a superhero or something, right? But I said that the Sahaba, they went for 3-4 months on camels, right? They had to say goodbye to their wife and children and stuff. And there's no letters that take a month to get to them. There's no WhatsApp or phones or anything, right? And then I start to think, when I'm in my bed at night, I start to think, okay, I have a bed in this room. It wasn't in a hotel. There was no hotel. There was a house. I was like, okay, I have a bed. I have a quilt. I have a toilet that I can go to easily. I have hot water. We didn't have hot water in this house, right? But I was like, we have running water. I said, I have Oreos in that kitchen cabinet that's there. I said, I have my phone. I said, I have internet that sometimes comes up. I said, we have a car outside that we can drive in. I have brothers who will make egg and toast and breakfast tomorrow. And when you start counting all of these things, and I was like, I have health. I'm not like, my leg is not broken. I can walk. I'm not in a wheelchair. When I start to think of these things, you know, then it becomes much easier, bro. It really becomes much easier because you start to think, man, I have a lot, right? It's still difficult
But
and tough.
you also have that thing as well where you know that this is what the donors are. This is what they want to see. This is what you're delivering for them as well, aren't you?
That as well, because see, sometimes, and people have some people, they have a hard time understanding this when I explain it to them. But I said to them, no, you have a duty on the donors to show them these amazing missions and places, because this is what they funded.
Yeah.
They want to see, okay, where does my hard-earned money go? Oh, this brother who took Shahada 5 years ago that you guys have finally reached because of my donation, and you taught him Fatiha, and you taught him the Salah, and you built a Dawah Center and Masjid for his community where more people will accept Islam, and these thousands of people will have taken Shahada in the Amazon rainforest in the next 30 to 40 years. We don't think 30, 40 years. Sometimes we're greedy. We just think our lifetime, 3, 4 years from now. But those 10 people who become Muslim, when they have kids and grandkids and stuff, that's going to be 300-400 people.
Yeah.
And if there's a second person or 3 more people, that's 1,000 people, right? And you'll see them on the Day of Judgment, inshallah, and the reward will be on your scale.
Yeah.
For £10 a month you gave to IRA and you forgot about it. It was just one of those bills that went out of your account. You know, you lost your job, you still kept going right till you got the new job. You were still paying 10, 20, 30 pounds a month. So that's you think about that as well, that this is important for us to show people and get also more donations to continue this amazing work, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
It's worth it.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's so important. But also, Jamal, one thing that I think we don't speak much about, and some people, very few people, they have problems with this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when you explain it to them, they understand. Some of these donors, even watching right now, you feel grateful and happy. You know, after this tiring mission, when you sit down, and by the way, there's like no place to eat here. We had to get like there's a place with like pizza and chips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basic, just a cheese pizza, no toppings because it's like pork and stuff, right? And you're exhausted and you're sitting down on the table and you're eating this slice of pizza. And you know, you say Alhamdulillah and you're grateful to Allah firstly, but then you think, you imagine what donor put this pizza slice on my plate.
Wow.
Imagine, not me, forget talking about me, Andres and the other da'is who are working so hard and exhausted. But think of it, a part of your money, a very small part, majority of it's dawah, the thousands and hundreds of thousands goes in the dawah, the leaflets, the paying for the infrastructure and everything. But this small fees, like £5, £10 for the meal, you're also supporting that. And you know, you're giving them energy through the food, that a bit of it that you paid for, that they energize, they feel a bit happier, and that's it. They're back again the next day.
And the donors are definitely keeping an eye on us, making sure we're doing it. That's where that fish came in handy with his eye. Like,
that fish. Yeah. So, but that's the thing, alhamdulillah. And we had a situation happened in Ecuador, right? There was a big confusion. There was a big mistake, and they were like, look, we'll accept everything, but your yellow fever, you have to have the booklet, yeah? If you don't have the physical booklet, we showed them the images of our yellow fever. You know, the families took pictures at home and sent it to us on WhatsApp straight away. They're like, COVID certificate is on your phone, digital. But no, the yellow fever, it has to be physical. Yellow book in your hand. I don't know. Don't ask me. Wow. So we couldn't go to Honduras. We missed our flight, right? And we had 2 days. So in this situation, it would be completely fine and normal, right? It was 2 days, yeah? We could have said, no problem. We stay in Ecuador for 2 days, stay in the hotel room, wait, and we continue to the next mission, which is Mexico, right? Which, subhanAllah, was amazing dawah work there. And, you know, I even thought, you know, I can, with my own money, go and visit some other island or something, or see something I haven't seen before. But we were like, no. You just have to grow up and just do the work. We rearranged something. We made a second mission in Peru because, just like you said, there's another opportunity of another brother in the mountains, right? Who had taken Shahada. Yeah, Bonifacio is his name. It's an amazing story, right? Like, we went hunting for him at night when it was all lights gone in the mountains.
Not literally,
shouting. No, not hunting. Bonifacio! And we couldn't find him. Then the next day, this is an amazing Dawah Diaries, inshallah, right? Very tough, but alhamdulillah, we made it. So we could have, but we said no. We're going to book the tickets. We're going to fly back to Peru, right? Jamal, back to that altitude. Imagine you come and you say, oh, alhamdulillah, the altitude sickness and things as well. but we went back. But alhamdulillah, may Allah accept it, inshallah. But we didn't. We didn't take those 2 days and said, let's relax, let's wait 2 days and continue the work. We went, alhamdulillah. But so this is just some of the intricacies of the Dawah Diaries. I think people enjoy knowing the details and how it actually pans out.
There's so much that goes on. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And people, inshallah, listen to these in 10, 20 years when they're doing their own stuff as well, inshallah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jazakallah khair.